Greetings from Orlando, Florida. This is author J.S. Snow. Today is Sunday, February 8th, 2015, and welcome to the latest episode of the Metal Meet and Greet with yours truly. So it's been an interesting week, very interesting. I'm not going to categorize it as bad, but it was pretty close. Had a lot going on. My stress level was pretty much pushed to its limit this week. Had a big review for my regular JOB that I hold, and I was quite worried about it. It went better than expected, but it was really weighing me down until it happened. But it was good. It ended up turning out for the best. Then some scathing things happened in my career that my writing career that I didn't see coming, and I was rather thrown off my game by it. I've been a little quiet on Facebook this week because I've just been dealing with it, and I didn't want to burden the world or the social media world with my sadness and depression. I'm writing in an anthology, a short story, and the beta readers are coming back really enthused with it. They like it. One author came back with some suggestions, but overall she liked it. And then had another critique of it that was not good. And it was pretty bad, actually. Not bad as far as what she did, but how she did it. It was, in my opinion, it was a little unwarranted and pretty hurtful. And so I'm just, it made me just take a giant step back and look at the way I write. And I've been just battling whether to bail on not only the anthology project, but also my writing as a whole. Because what she was critiquing me on really focused in on one thing: my writing style and the format I choose to write in. I write in third person. If you have not read my books, they are in third person. I don't have one male character, one female character, and then, you hear their inner monologues and from their point of view. I write in third person. I tell a story. I'm the narrator. Periodically, I'll interject my own thoughts into the story throughout it. And it's not popular in the romance genre. It's just not. I've been critiqued for it before. I think this was number 10 when this happened. I've been eviscerated by editors. I've been eviscerated by fellow authors, bloggers. I've been blessed that I haven't had to deal with it on a review type of thing from readers, which I really appreciate, and I am blessed. And thank you for loving these books as much as you do, despite the way I write. But to just have your peers just absolutely pound the crap out of you. And this has been going on for a while, but I think with the combination of the stress from the job, the stress of having my personal bank account hacked into, then you put this on top of it, it was just a powder keg waiting to go off. And I just went into just this pit of self-loathing despair. It was really sad. So I contemplated just bailing, because it's far easier to quit than to continue struggling and to continue going on with what you believe in and what you want to do. It's just easier to just give up, toss in the towel, and say, fuck it. So I'm not going to give up. Luckily, a lot of the suggestions, one of the authors made is in alignment with what the beta reader suggested. And so I'm going to implement those changes and submit the story. And I'm going to leave it up to the literary gods. If it's not going to cut the mustard for what this anthology is about, if the main author of this project decides it doesn't fit, then that's her decision, and I'll live with it. I'll be fine with it. But I guess final decision on my part is, am I going to sacrifice or compromise the way I want to tell a story? And the answer is no. I'm not giving up. I look at fellow other indie authors that have just gotten just the crap beat out of them for the way they write, and they continue pushing on. I remember reading an article by Olivia Cunning, who I model after. She is one of my heroes, and I remember her she wrote an article of her first experience at the Romance Writers Convention Association, RWA, here in Orlando, Florida, as a matter of fact. And I guess she entered a contest to have a book signed by a top New York Times bestselling author. Well, on the name badges that they wear, sometimes you're given ribbons with different accomplishments. She was given 2 ribbons. First, she is a new author, and second, newly published. So the New York Times bestselling writer, I guess, honed in on those ribbons and asked her, "Oh, really? What's your story about?" She told them about the Sinner series, and she writes about rock stars. And I guess the New York Times bestselling author, who's big on romance, her face fell immediately. She said, "Rock stars make the worst romantic heroes. Your books are not going to make it." That was absolutely crushing to her. She felt devastated. She felt demoralized. She felt just her world was just ending. She, of course, kept on going on, and is right now laughing all the way to the bank. She was able to quit her full-time job. She's sitting on the New York Times bestseller list, and her books are gangbusters. And right now she's writing a follow-up series to the Sinner series called Exodus End, and they're going to just, wow. That's perseverance right there. That is doing it despite what others are saying. In other words, you can play into what everybody says you're supposed to do, or you can do what is in your heart and what you want to do. That's what I think sets us apart as individuals. So some people will follow the crowd, some people won't. I never have followed the crowd, and I will not. No, I'm not going to do it. All right, so enough about that. Let's go into the upcoming events for this particular author. Tomorrow, February 9th, I'll be taking over Sarah Mueller's Secret Phantom cover reveal. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you tune in for that. Cover reveal for an author, big deal, huge deal, and I will get into it in just a few minutes on why. Saturday, February 14th. I'm sure you've heard about this by now. It's all the rage. It's all everybody can talk about. The Book Boyfriend bloggers are featuring a very special takeover event for 2 days where authors are going to be speaking in their male romantic heroes' voices. So the book boyfriends themselves will be taking over, not the authors, but the book boyfriends. Mine, of course, is John Lucas, the absolutely sexy hottie of Hell's Redemption, bass player, 6'4", 240 pounds, muscle menacing, beautiful man who is in love with my main character, A.G. Haba. So can't wait to hear what he has to say. Well, I shouldn't say that. I wrote what he had to say, but still, it's epic. Anyway, it's at 4 o'clock, so 4 to 5 on Valentine's Day, so you got time to tune in, enjoy yourself, win some prizes, and then go out and do the Valentine's thing with your sweetie pie. Then the next day, February 15th, this event blew up so fast that they had to do 2 days. My author friend from across the pond, Terry George, will be featured at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Nick Frost is going to be taking over. She just sent me the takeover notes, and oh, ladies, you're in for it. It's hearing Nick and just what he has to say on things is just, and hearing it in that wonderful British accent of his is just too sexy for words. He's my book boyfriend, by the way, so hands off. Anyway, 4 p.m. So tune in for Terry's as well. So it's on a Saturday, so I don't know if you got plans. No, that's a Sunday. Yeah, I think that's a Sunday. So I don't know if you got plans, whatever, but plenty of time. So tune in for that, then go out and do whatever it is you do. Then we have Saturday, February 21st. This is, I'm participating in a wonderful event down under. My very first foreign takeover. Very first takeover in Australia. Of course, I'm not going to physically be there, but Sassy Lewis is releasing a wonderful novel called Throttle, and I am just, I'm on pins and needles about this. Just from the excerpts alone, it rings very similar to Madeline Sheehan's work. And if you all know me, Madeline Sheehan's series is #1 in my top 10 favorites of all time. And she's still sitting on number 1. And I have a funny feeling Sassy is may be a close 2 or probably just 1, because from the premise I'm getting, it's just incredible. The writing is just fierce. It is in your face. It is just gritty. Everything you expect from an MC type of series, type of novel. Just amazing. I love Australian authors. I love them. They write just so purely, just with no, they don't hold anything back. They're in fear of nothing. And I'm hearing the cat crawl up back of the chair. Lily will be making an appearance. Obviously, I'm not in makeup. Hair's not done. So, yeah, but the cat will be making an appearance. She's thinking about it. So she is the true star of this show. I'm taking a power walk after this. That's why I didn't get all dolled up for you all. Sorry. Anyway, so February 21st, Saturday, February 21st. Oh, here she comes. Yay, Lulu. Hi, Lulu. So, ladies and gentlemen, Lulu the cat. Lulu the cat. There she is. Isn't she pretty? Anyway, Saturday, February 21st at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll pause for a moment, let that all sink in. Okay. Yeah, most of you will not be attending this. I don't blame you. It's awfully early here in the States, but they're 15 hours ahead in Brisbane. So I had to make accommodations for that. So other authors from other countries have to for America all the time. So this is my sacrifice and chipping in. But if you happen to be up drinking a cup of coffee or can't sleep, tune in. Hey, what the hell? It's going to be great. Monday, March 16th, I signed on for Sarah Darlington's book release, Changing Tides. I don't know a lot about it or this author, to be honest with you, but she, so far from what I've seen, it's going to be a wonderful release. I'll be taking over from 9 to 10 p.m. on March 16th, so a little late, but tune in before you head to bed and see what I have to say. All right, contests, I'm not going to go over those. See the website, the homepage, if you want to know what contests I'm running. Cover reveals, let's talk about them. So, as I said before, tomorrow I'll be attending a book takeover for Sarah Mueller. She's revealing her cover. So, how do covers work for independent authors? Because we don't have large publishing houses backing us up in an art department that can throw something together and make it pop and make it look good, we do it ourselves. So, but there are sources out there where we can outsource it and have somebody make it for us. It's expensive, or we can just come up with it ourselves. Redemption, God, this is funny. When I was writing it, I decided to go start looking for the cover as I was beginning the writing of it. And there are sites available out there for writers to buy royalty-free art and limited licensing, that we're allowed to use the image on our books for sale so it doesn't violate any copyright laws. Then we can make it our own. And I made the mistake of punching in the search engine on one of these sites, female model in leather pants. Oh, sweet Jesus. It was bad. The images that came across was so bad. I was like, okay. So I decided to narrow it down because I wanted a female musician on the front cover. Narrow it down. Female model rock star leather pants. It was worse. It was even worse. I mean, are women really relegated to look like total whores and sluts just because they rock out on stage? Seriously? This is the options that I had? Oh, it was just, and they were all blonde. What was up with that? What? Blonde? Really? I'm like, So I was on a mission for brunettes everywhere to find my model. So I kept looking, and I came across the image that you now see today on Redemption's cover. And it spoke to me because I didn't want a full-on profile look to it. But also, it was more Alex than AG. Plus, she was holding an instrument. Granted, it's the wrong guitar That's okay. Several musicians have pointed this out to me. I know this, but really, if you had been on this search engine on this site with me, you would have seen my dilemma. It was arduous at best. So it's not like I settled for what is now the cover. I kind of did, but in the end I liked it. I liked it because it was Alex enough to where it could work. Selecting a cover, folks, is a mind-numbing process at times. Sometimes we'll go through like 50 to 100 different images that we'll try out because we're trying to bring out onto the cover the whole story. We also have the stress and the worry about that if the cover doesn't pop, you guys aren't going to buy it. The cover sells the book. Bad cover, you're not going to get any sales. That's just reality. The book could be brilliant, but if you don't pop it, you're kind of screwed. So Redemption's cover was chosen. Resurrection's cover. Oh, that was just the literary God shining down upon me and blessing me. Resurrection's cover. In Redemption, if you've read it, kudos to you if you have, you deserve a medal. Vancouver, the Italian restaurant scene. Funniest scene in the entire book, in my opinion. Afterwards, they go to a camera store to pick AG up a camera. They walk in, and the two camera store employees are all about AG Hadabah. They love her. And in the course of the conversation between these two clerks, young men, they say that, you know, dude, I know this. I'm the one that hung the poster of her in our apartment. AG, of course, is just hopeful that the poster is located nowhere near, let alone in the bathroom. But it was a very revealing poster as far as her chest. So this is AG. This is AG. So when I went on to the same sites that I went on to find Redemption's cover, when I came across this image, I screamed out loud. I was so happy. I think in this case I just put voluptuous female model leather pants and just braid. I was inundated with, you know, blonde porn stars. And this image came up. And I screamed out loud. I was so giggly happy because this is the poster. Hello. Again, literary God smiling down upon my ass. Yes, thank you. Resurrection's cover, chosen. So in my case, I did the art on all three books covers. Trepidation, here you go. So I did that as well. I selected that. Reconciliation's cover has been chosen. However, I'm going to have it dolled up by a professional cover artist. I need some. I need a background image thrown in there and just edge it up just a little bit. But it's beautiful, and again, it will feature Alex on it. I want the story to stay on her, and this series is about her and her journey. So there you go. But a cover, the angst and emotion and just what an author puts himself through to choose a bloody cover is a lot of work. So when you're invited to these cover reveals, understand the host of the event usually is the author. It's a big deal. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but just understand there was a lot of work in the background, for that. Try to understand more what the story is about. Read the excerpts, decide for yourself. Even if you don't like the cover, kind of put that off to the side and just go, okay, I'm going to give the story a chance. And why do book covers change? I was asked that recently. The reason why is when we're published, you sign over the rights to the publication of the story itself, but you also sign over the rights to have the art changed. You are now taking your book into the stratosphere of distribution, and the art that you bought is no longer, the licensing is now very restricted. So unless you want to have problems, they have to change it. So it goes off to the publishing house, and the art department gets to work, and the covers change. That's why they change. They keep the rights for several years to come to change the cover to keep it updated with the current time frame. So that's why you see several covers change over time going, hey, wait a minute, that's not the stand. Yes, it is. It's the same exact book, different cover. So I think Stephen's book has gone through like 7 different covers, I think, so far. I counted. I don't know. That's why. Just to keep it current and modern. Constructive criticism. Let's go over it. You look at you look at the problem of leaving a review. What I've been hearing lately, and even from other authors, is the reason why they don't leave reviews is because they're afraid of damaging or hurting an author. Considering what I went through this week, I completely understand that argument. It can hurt. The late Mary Kay Ash, that name sounds familiar. She's the founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I don't care if you use the cosmetics, like it, whatever. She was a phenomenal businesswoman, trendsetter. She was a pioneer for women to come into the workforce and be an absolute, I don't want to say threat, but just a commanding presence, that women can have it all. They can be successful and be heard in the world, that men just don't rule all. Women can come along. She was absolutely an amazing person, and was one of the most successful businesswomen of all time, and during her life. And her legacy still continues through her grandchildren, who currently run the company. Anyway, back to her. There's a quote I follow of hers today that just resonates in me. When I go back to this quote and lean on it, she's speaking as a woman, not necessarily as a business entrepreneur, but as a woman. Quote, "I don't believe there's any such thing as constructive criticism. It's always destructive." End quote. Yes, you've got to be careful. If your review is going to be bad in any way, shape, or form, you do have to ask yourself, does it serve anything to leave this review? For me, I have no problems whatsoever leaving a New York Times bestselling author. If I read one of their works and it's bad, I have no problem. No problem leaving a bad review. Zero, zip, zilcho. Why? They're selling gazillions of books. It's not going to hurt their sales. Their sales are already just out of this world. They're continuing to write. They're in the middle of a 7-figure book deal. It's not going to hurt them. But it's my review. It's the way I feel about it. I didn't like the work. I'm going to be honest with it. I'm not going to be scathing, though, in my words. I'm going to be careful to know that I am critiquing another artist. So, but I will say, the writing was choppy. It was repetitive. It was bad. I didn't enjoy the story. I found myself rolling my eyes too many times. And I found myself wanting to bail halfway through the book. Okay? That's pretty harsh. I think the worst review I ever wrote was for a New York Times bestselling author, and it was based upon the greed of what she did to her series, which was supposed to be a trilogy, and it's now going to be 5 books. It's just, the story just took a header. It was just bad. She just did things that you're just not supposed to do, in my opinion, for a new loving couple that is supposed to, go through all their problems and find solace in one another. And just, I don't know, she bailed. But to me, it was just greed, and I had no problems writing a scathing review. Zero. It's still out there too. It's pretty bad. But I'll never buy another one of her books again. She became untrustworthy in my eyes when she pulled that crap. So reviews. Let's go back to indies. Let's say you pick up an indie story and you don't like it. You don't like the writing. For those of you that are kind of grammar hounds out there, you find the grammar horrific. It did captivate you, and let's be honest, you're pissed because you spent X amount of dollars and you got a crappy book. It's kind of like the same way of going to a movie. You pay X amount of dollars, a lot of dollars, to see a movie. You buy the popcorn, the candy, the soda, and you go and sit down in the seat, and you want to be entertained for the next 2 hours, and you want it to be good. And nothing pisses you off more when the movie sucks and you leave in the theater X amount of dollars poorer and it wasn't even worth it. I get it. I do. I get it. So just, I say take a step back. There's a manager at work that says it all the time, so that's why I'm giggling. But anyway, take a step back and really think about what you want to say. What's important is that you do say it. Even if the star level is going to be 3, I don't believe in going any lower than 3. I don't think it's warranted or justified. I don't think a story is that bad that it warrants a 1 or 2 stars. That's just mean. But to me, if it's a bad story, if it just didn't cut the mustard for me, it will get a 3-star rating, and I'll explain why. But that will help that indie author improve with their next work, and show them, okay, this didn't sell too well. You don't want to blow sunshine up a person's ass, but you also need to be honest with them. So I always use the language when I'm writing a review for me, not my style, not something I care for. In other words, I take ownership of the review. So I write the review, what I didn't like about it, what I thought should be improved upon, and just I took ownership of it. This is my review, my opinion. Doesn't have to be anybody else's, period. But it's important that you leave a review of everything that you read. It is so important. It will make or break an indie writer's career. They're not backed by a publishing house. They're doing their own marketing. This is it. If they're not seeing reviews hit their books at all, you're killing their careers. You'll never see or hear from them again. Okay? That's how important it is. In the end, as far as my writing is concerned, no matter what reviews I'm getting, and I prayed about this a lot last night and really thought about it, I had to ask myself, do I want to fit into the cookie cutter mold that is romance, modern day romance novels? Boy meets girl, they fall in love, they have great sex, there's a little bit of conflict in there, maybe some cheating, they get back together happily ever after. And all's told in first person. Do I want to fall into the mold of just like everybody else is out there? Do I want to be one of a couple hundred books sitting on someone's shelf somewhere that's the same story, the same angst, same characters, same blah, same. Do I want to stick to my guns? And while maybe being a cookie cutter author in this genre and writing exactly the way everybody else does may make me a star, do I want to give up the integrity of how I write and the way I want to write and tell a story? Do I want to give it up? No, I don't. Let's get to some questions. Rose Gomeski, what drew you into writing this genre? I have no fucking idea at this point. I really don't. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. This genre is turning out to be the most snarkiest, is turning out to be the most cattiest. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Seriously, I don't. I was originally going to produce a set of books, a paranormal series, about female vampires. It's really good. It's really, really hot too. But that genre is not doing well in sales right now. Unless you're J.R. Ward, it's just not doing very well. So I had to kind of change tactics. Redemptions, the Metal Prodigy series has always been in my head, and it needed to go on paper, and it turns out to be a romance. You could debate the book one is romantic. It's more suspenseful because there's only one physical scene, and that's not really what I consider romantic. It's just a sex scene. Book two is when I kick up the romance notch. So what drew me into this genre? Just the story fit into it. I don't know. Be honest with you, I don't know. If I had to choose and do it over again, I wouldn't go near this. Betsy Figueroa asks, when do Angela and Drake really get it on BDSM style? Seriously? That's your question? Really? Honestly? Okay, in all seriousness, folks, Betsy is one of my core beta readers. She is also the inspiration for the character Angela Ramirez. She is Angela Ramirez. So for her, she's like, when do me and my man get it on? Really get it on. If you're reading the series, you understand that Drake is a submissive, and he likes it kinky. And when are they going to get it on? Well, Betsy, if you're reading the progression of the story, they're still real new into just getting together, let alone, have him, kneeling before her and dressed in leather and have her, adorning a whip and wearing a corset. So that's going to have to come in time. I think you're going to read more of that in Drake's book sometime next year. She still has a lot to learn because she's not a dom, so she's got to take some classes. We need to do that. Also, as the writer, I have to be honest, I know nothing about a dom-sub relationship where the male is the sub. I know the other way around, but it's a whole different dynamic and a whole different thing for the male to be a sub. It's completely different. I've got some great books that I'm going to be reading from other writers to do my research and understand it. I'm also looking into some clubs here here in Orlando that I'm going to pay a visit to and ask some questions. And you see me running around there with a notepad. How embarrassing. But whatever. Whatever. I'm going to do it. It's fine. It's research. It's, want to make the book believable, real, and this is what it's about. Drake needs this. So there you go. There's your question. All right. I am off for my power walk, and so you have yourselves a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful week. I hope to see you all tomorrow night at Sarah Mueller's cover reveal. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, author J.S. Snow, Orlando, Florida, signing off. Bye.